Hey everybody, this is Herbiderp here with the E4 Mafia. Now this is one where I just kind of wanted to go through. I actually did a budget build where my goal was to keep it like under $60,000 and to have it be really flippin' amazing. Now you're looking at it. This GMC van literally came out of nowhere for me. I had this thing as like a really kick-ass drag tune, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's start off with cars that are the cheapest. At $20,000, you can't really get any cheaper than the van and like a handful of other cars. Like that's just the lowest the new cars go for in the game. Now I know you can get lucky on the auction house and pick someone's old beater for like 9, but I think I did pretty good. I'm pretty sure the overall price on this thing ended up being close to like 58,000, but it's nuts though. This thing is literally the most insane like budget build I've ever made. And when I say most insane, I mean it's a D class. Not even like a maxed D class. This is like a 362 or something. Like it's just like how do you get drifting capabilities out of something that literally is just in all reality, just a slightly messed up alignment on a turbocharged version of the same engine? Like, that's all I did. I added the turbo, I played with the alignment, and that's pretty much it. I didn't do too much. Like, keeping it budget. I didn't need to do much. But this thing blew me away, and I'm going to go ahead and get into the review here and just kind of let you know what I think. So I got to say this thing's pretty loopy for like going into the review here, that it's a D class. And it's not like a high D class either. It literally sits, like when you go into a lobby, it literally sits at 365 in a D class. Now when you roll into any drift lobby, you're rarely going to see anything other than S and R class cars because everyone thinks they need a bajillion horsepower and the grippiest tires on planet Earth. Yet, I roll up in a D-class van with a factory paint color, no visual modifications of any kind, and they're like, dude, get out of here. What are you doing in this little rinky-dink little gigantic-ass box you call a vehicle? And it's really funny when that same person at the end of that drift session's like, how the hell are you in third? What? No. There's no way, man. This tune is like the best ever. And then like you realize it was tuned by them, and then you're like, my van's better, and it's cheaper too. Got him. I'm just kidding. I can't do that voice as well as Specialist Nut Cup. But no, kind of going into the way it, like the ease of tuning, since you don't have $1 million put into it, you really only have, like, if you put in the racing suspension and the transmission, that's pretty much all you can do is just the alignment and changing the final gear down to the to like include all the gears rather than it just being like the regular 4-speed with like 2 extra overdrives that you can't actually use. So that's one where that's actually about where it is for it, because I didn't realize how little tuning went into it. Like, I just put in like some basic stats that work for almost every car, and yeah, no, it was flippin' fantastic. And I'm like, oh damn, I just want to tweak this, I want to tweak this, boom. Like, literally spent 2, 3. I'm gonna be generous, and I'm gonna round up to the next category of 5. I spent 5 minutes tuning this thing. 5 minutes. That's it. Absolutely, hand over my heart, like, swear to God, that's all I have put into it for time and tuning. So I'm gonna give it a rock solid 9 out of 10 for the ease of tuning, because it took no time at all. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a 9 out of 10. for ease of tuning. I was originally going to go 8 out of 10, but it really wasn't that hard. It was really easy, which surprised me considering the fact I was playing with literally, like, no power. Well, when I say no power, I mean for the van. The van already comes equipped with a decent amount of horsepower. And with the factory engine, I squeezed 550 horsepower out of it after putting the turbo in and upgrading the turbo. So literally most of the money that went into the upgrades went into the engine. Then the race suspension and the race transmission, and that was literally it. I bought a couple of other things just so when I go into the tuning screen I can see what properties they have at a factory setting, but didn't actually adjust anything. So like realistically, if you can add the turbo through the conversion menu and max out the factory engine, and like I didn't even do the the flywheel and the oil line upgrade like you can do, and yeah, the suspension and the just the suspension, not the control arms, or not the control arms, the anti-roll bars, no weight reduction, no roll cage, no drive shaft upgrade, no rear diff upgrade, just upgrading the transmission so I can adjust the final drive, and the suspension so I can adjust the alignment is all I have for upgrades into this thing. And the overall build literally is like almost right on the money at $50,000, and I have set it for 60. And I kind of got a couple of those other tools, or not tools, but those other upgrades that let you see like where the diff is for its lock and where some of those other things are. And I was still within my $60,000 budget, and I'm like, I don't know if I could build a cheaper drift car like that actually drifts. Like, I mean, I could go and get like a factory muscle car and you know, slap some adjustments on a suspension, but I can't guarantee it would be any better. This thing was flipping amazing. Like, for a D class, hands down, nuts. And that's where I gotta go into the ease of drifting. That is one of the easiest drift cars I've ever made for a video. It's so easy to recover. Like, don't get me wrong, if you go too slow, it'll lock up and kind of get stuck at that 90 degree and you have to like almost come to a complete stop to recover. But that's the only downfall, and that's the only reason I can't give it a 10 out of 10. Otherwise, that thing it goes sideways. It's easy to recover. It's really easy to control. It's really easy to maintain. And when you shift from like a hard 90 to another hard 90, it does all the hard work for you. You just got to keep it from locking. So I loved that. And then that kind of goes into the drift appearance. Now, I personally think it looks flippin' amazing, but I don't think a lot of people like seeing it, because you roll up with a D-class van in a lobby, they immediately hate you because they think you're going to be the guy who trolls them and rams into them and shit. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for appearance. But affordability, you could realistically duplicate this yourself for $50,000, and now that's cheaper than most cars go for in the game, period, that are like any good other than classics. So I got to give it a 10 out of 10 there. And then my personal bets for points, like if you drift for points, my personal best was a 46,500 points on the Indianapolis Grand Prix Classic. Now, I don't know about you, that's still a really good score for a D class, and that's why I give it my overall rating as a 10 out of 10. Even though, like, it's not 10 out of 10 across the board for individual stats, it's my opinion. It literally, like, my brain can't wrap my head around the fact that it's a D class that outperforms most of the people with the S-Class cars, except for the really, really good elite people who have purpose-built tunes. But yeah, I'm going to go into the spec sheet here, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your whatever. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, please. It helps me out a lot. All right, bye.
Matt Stubbs.